I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the way that journalism and writing and creativity and branded content are all kind of meeting up. I've also been asked a few times, what is a story? You know, what's the definition of how do you create a story? And the funny thing about a story is that it often begins with a problem. Try not to think of your problems as problems, try to think of them as potential stories. It's not true, in fact, that attention spans are shrinking. If you provide good content, people will consume it. People watch hours and hours of series on Netflix every night. You know, if it's good content, you will sit for 6 hours and watch your favorite show when you know you should be going to bed, but you'll go, oh, just another episode, it's too good, it's too good. You know, so the theory that young people won't watch long content is absolute rubbish. If it's good, they will watch it. We were talking about storytelling, and he said, actually, it's not about storytelling anymore, it's about story building, which is where the title of my speech comes from, because he said that you use the different platforms, be it Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, conventional advertising, as blocks in order to tell a bigger story about your brand. Red Bull has what it calls its media house. The Red Bull Media House. Many of the people work there are journalists, and they produce documentary films, they produce YouTube videos, and they even have their own magazine, which is sold in or given away in newspaper kiosks. It's called the Red Bulletin. And what's clever about it is that it's a classic example of branded content in that the branding is reasonably subtle. I mean, you have the Red Bull logo on the front, but reasonably discreetly. And the interior is all about extreme sports, because that's their thing. There's interviews with extreme sports stars, not necessarily ones that are sponsored by Red Bull. I mean, they're really covering the extreme sport industry. So they've created this piece of content which is branded, but at the same time is a piece of entertainment. You know, someone was asking me in another speech, well, you know, this looks like a documentary. How do consumers know that it's part of our brand? You know, how do you attach a brand to this part of content? It could be for any brand. But in fact, if you know the brand values of Guinness and you've seen some of their previous advertising, you can detect strains of it running through this advertising. And also, you can take ownership of your branded content these days quite easily by you know, using hashtags, by putting the thing on your Facebook page, through conventional PR. So you can tell people that this is part of your campaign. The borders between content and journalism are blurring. Journalists, scriptwriters, authors, we're all creating content, and sometimes it's branded content. We've sort of become brand writers in a way.